Hello everyone, and we're back with part 2 on how to make a ping pong game on Scratch. So in part 1, what we did was we made the two sticks move up and down, and now we're going to put the ball on and add a score. So before we start doing any more coding, any more new coding, I made two alterations to the code of the stick and the code of the two sticks. So I changed the repeat 20 for player 1 so that it's a bit more smooth now, as you can see. So if you want, you can keep it 10, but I think I prefer 20. And player 2, I changed it to 16. So it's a bit more smoother for both of them. In fact, maybe with player 1, I'll change it to 16 also. Let's just see how that looks. Okay, that seems to be good. Okay, so now let's add the ball in. I'm gonna go to choose a sprite, and I'm gonna choose the ball sprite. Then I'm gonna make a blue color because I really like blue. And then I want to make it a little bit smaller, but not too small, so that it's easy for the players to play. Okay, so maybe a little smaller. Yes, that seems to be a good size. Now let's start doing the coding. So I'm going to go to events and grab a when green flag clicked. So what we want to do with the ball is when the green flag is clicked, we want to move it to a set position, just like the stick and the sticks. So I wanted to move right into the middle. So I'm going to go to motion and go to X0 and also Y0, and X0 and Y0 is exactly in the middle. Let's see how that looks. Okay, so we have our ball right in the middle of the square, and now let's try. Now we want the ball to move around the place when we press the green flag. So I'm going to grab move 10 steps. Let's just see how that looks when we put that. So right now it doesn't really work properly. So I'm going to go to control and press forever and put forever loop around the move 10 steps. So we want the ball to be moving forever around the place. Let's just see how that looks. Okay, so that looks good. It's a good pace. Maybe we might want to move it a little faster. You want the ball to move like in between fast and slow, because we don't want the game to be too hard, or we don't want the game to be too boring, so slightly in the middle. Now there's one small problem, and it is that it's just stuck on the side. We want it to be moving around the whole space, so I'm going to go to motion and grab an if on edge bounce. Okay, so that seems to be moving pretty nicely, but it's just moving side to side, so it won't be a very good game like that. So then I'm going to go and grab a pointing direction, and not 90, because then it's just going to keep moving side to side. Something like maybe 45 or 30. Let's just try 30 for now. Okay, 30 doesn't seem to be working. It's not moving, it's not bouncing off as well as it should. Okay, 45, yeah, 45 seems to be quite good. Yeah, it seems to work. Okay, so now we have the code for the moving ball, but we want the ball to be bouncing off the sticks when it touches it. So I'm going to go to control and grab an if then loop, and we're going to put it inside the forever loop. Then I'm going to go to sensing, and I'm going to put if touching player 1 inside the if then loop, And then I'm going to go to motion, then point in direction, not 90, let's go with 45 again. That seemed to work quite well last time. So let's just see how that looks. Okay, so it seems to be bouncing off pretty nicely. Okay, so now we need to do the same with player 2 stick. So all I need to do is just copy and paste this and put them both in. Then I need to change this to player 2, and finally I need to make this minus 45 degrees. So let's just see if the player 2 stick works. We'll just see if it bounces off quite nicely. Okay, so it seems to bounce off quite nicely from both sticks. But we need to add a score to the game. So I'm going to go to variables, and I'm going to create my own variable. So firstly, I'm going to create a player 1 score, and you have to select for all sprites. If you select for this sprite only, it won't work. So it's very important that you select for all sprites. And then we click OK. Now I'm going to make the player 2 score. Okay, and again for all sprites. Okay. So then I'm going to move this over here so that we have the scores opposite. And I'm going to grab this. Actually, in fact, first I need to set the player 1 score to 0 and the player 2 score to 0 when the green flag is clicked. Otherwise, we'll have the same scores from the previous game. Okay, so I'm going to change my variable and put it inside the if-then loop, which is the code for the player 1, and press player 1 score. So what I just did is I made the game. I made the ball, when the ball touches the stick, the player 1 score will change by 1. So let's just see if that works. Okay, so it seems to be working quite good. Now I need to do the same with the player 2 score. So I just drag the same block there, and instead of player 1 I put player 2. Okay, so let's see if the player 2 score works. And it seems to be working pretty well.